What if I tell you that most of oxygen you breathe does not come from forest, but from the ocean? It sounds surprising, does not it? When people think about oxygen, they imagine all green trees, dense rainforest, and vast jungle stretching across the land. For years, we have been taught that forests are the lung of our planet. But the truth lies far deeper. Beneath the endless blue surface of the ocean, hidden inside the water, lives an invisible organism that quietly controls life on Earth. An organism so small that most people have never noticed it, and yet so powerful that without it, life as we know it would simply not exist. These organisms are called phytoplankton. Phytoplankton are tiny plant-like organisms that float freely in ocean, seas, and even freshwater bodies, such as lakes and rivers. They do not swim like fish and they do not walk or crawl. Instead, they drift gently with ocean currents, carried by waves, sunlight, and nutrients dissolved in the water. To the human eye, phytoplankton are almost completely invisible. You could swim through billions of them and never realize they are there. But their importance is far greater than the world's largest forest combined. Despite their microscopic size, phytoplankton perform one of the most important processes on Earth, that is photosynthesis. Just like plants on land, they use sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water to produce energy. As sunlight penetrates the surface of the ocean, phytoplankton absorb that light and begin their work. As a result of this process, they release oxygen into the atmosphere. Scientists estimate that nearly 70% of oxygen on Earth comes from phytoplankton. That means every second breath you take, every calm inhale, and every quiet exhale is partially made possible by these tiny organisms floating in the ocean. Think about that for a moment. The air filling your lungs right now has traveled a long journey from sunlight in the sky to microscopic life in the sea. In other words, the ocean is not just a body of water, it is one of the planet's largest oxygen factories. But oxygen is only one part of their story. Phytoplankton are also the foundation of the marine food chain. They form the very first level of life in the ocean ecosystem. Tiny marine animals feed directly on phytoplankton. Small fish feed on those animals. Larger fish then feed on the smaller ones. Bigger predators depend upon those fish for survival. And eventually humans depend on this entire chain for food, for livelihoods, and for global economies. From the smallest fish to the largest whale, from shallow coral reefs to the deepest open oceans, phytoplankton support life at every level. Without them, the main food web would collapse from the every bottom. But their role goes never deeper. Phytoplankton also play a critical role in regulating Earth's climate. They absorb massive amount of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide is one of the main gases responsible for global warming. When too much of it remains in the atmosphere, Earth begins to heat up. By absorbing carbon dioxide, phytoplankton help reduce the amount of heat trapped around the planet. In this way, they act as a silent warrior against climate change. They do not make voice, they do not demand attention, they do not appear in headline, yet every single day they work quietly and continuously to keep Earth's climate in balance. Now imagine a world without phytoplankton. Oxygen levels would begin to fall, marine ecosystem would collapse, fish population would rapidly disappear, and Earth's climate would spiral completely out of control. Life on the land would also suffer because ocean and atmosphere are deeply connected ecosystem. What happens in the ocean does not stay in the ocean. Unfortunately, phytoplankton are now under threat. Pollution, plastic waste, rising ocean temperature, and effect of climate change are damaging ocean ecosystem worldwide. When ocean suffers, phytoplankton suffer too. Protecting phytoplankton mean protecting the ocean, and protecting the ocean means protecting life itself, because sometimes the smallest organism carry the great responsibility. They may be visible, but their impact is truly global. Protect the ocean and you protect life on earth.